Add on 12 News managing your holiday spending. We'll have tips to avoid a post-holiday budget dilemma. Plus, it feels like a school, but where are all the students? We'll take a tour of a virtual high school that Northwest Metro students attend. But first, the growth of social media and its impact on teachers. See what Anoka-Hennepin schools are doing to keep up with the times. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. The growth of social media is impacting local school districts.
The Anoka-Hennepin district is reviewing social media rules for teachers and other employees. 12 News reporter Sonia Goins takes a look.
Just about everyone is on social media these days. Sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram make it very easy to stay in contact with family, friends, and coworkers.
We just felt that it was important to establish these guidelines so that all these interactions are kept on a professional level.
The Anoka-Hennepin district recently unveiled a plan to set boundaries when it comes to professional and personal social media sites.
So we're not planning to monitor personal social media sites of employees. We just plan on adhering to some guidelines.
The goal is to get employees to think twice before hitting the send button.
Obscene, profane, vulgar, harassing, threatening, bullying, libelous, or defamatory.
Every company should have a social media policy in place.
Jen Jamar is a blogger and social media strategist.
Your employees are representing your brand, and so you want to have some guidelines in place.
She says saying the wrong thing online can not only turn people off, but it can get you fired.
The reality is anybody can screenshot anything, and when taken out of context, that can look bad not only on you, but on the company you represent.
Jamar says a good rule to follow is to don't say something online you wouldn't say to someone's face.
Be mindful. I mean, the internet lives forever, so we want to make sure what we're saying represents who we are and that we feel comfortable standing behind it.
Sonia Goins, 12 News.
The Anoka-Hennepin School Board heard the first reading on the proposal. They will discuss it further at their next meeting.
A second suspect in a deadly bar fight in New Hope has pleaded guilty. Daniel Wright admitted to drinking heavily before punching a Crystal man. That man, 36-year-old John Hillstrom, later died. The incident happened more than a year ago outside Outtakes Bar and Grill. Wright is the second suspect to admit to punching Hillstrom. It took several months to arrest Wright because he lived out of state. He is expected to receive a more than 6-year prison sentence on a manslaughter charge.
Golden Valley's newly re-elected mayor dropped some news on election night that will make some residents excited.
We're getting really close to bringing a very popular grocery co-op to the Golden Valley Shopping Mall at Highway 55 in Winnetka.
Mayor Harris couldn't divulge the name of the co-op yet. Harris won re-election by 159 votes. That's a 4% margin, defeating challenger Martha Mix, a former Golden Valley City Council member. Meanwhile, voters chose 2 incumbents to fill 2 open seats on the Golden Valley City Council. Joanie Clausen had the most votes. Steve Schmidgall finished 142 votes ahead of third-place finisher Carol Berry. There were 6 candidates in all who ran. Clausen says she feels humbled by her election victory. She also knows the city faces a big vote coming up with light rail.
It's going to be moving fast now and addressing that, and I know it's very controversial. It's about 50-50. Some people want it, some don't, who have the impacts. And I do.
The Golden Valley Council will have the opportunity over the next 4 years to work with a new city manager, Tim Cruikshank, who came aboard in September. And the city manager is key in running the day-to-day operations.
Now, Maple Grove's new city administrator isn't on the job just yet, but she's ready.
Clearly, it's a bigger organization, bigger community, bigger staff, and so it brings with it all of those opportunities. And I think just where Maple Grove is situated today, you know, they've had great success. It's a solid organization.
Heidi Nelson is currently Wayzata's city manager, overseeing a town of 4,000 people and a budget of about $16 million. In December, Nelson becomes Maple Grove's new city administrator, overseeing a city of about 70,000 people and a budget more than twice the size. Nelson's first order of business: get up to speed on major road construction projects and also developments.
I think it's really getting to know the community, getting to understand, you know, what's important there and how they like to do business, and getting to know the business.
Nelson replaces Al Madsen, Maple Grove's city administrator, for 32 years.
After 2 water main breaks in Robbinsdale since 2013, a major project to replace the aging water pipeline running from Minneapolis to Crystal is wrapping up. In all, crews replaced 2 miles of water pipeline underneath 42nd Avenue North in Robbinsdale and Crystal. The $4 million project is covered by Crystal, New Hope, and Golden Valley, the cities receiving the water. The new pipeline brings the water to this Crystal pump station for distribution. The new line should last 70 to 90 years.
The pipe that was in there was a cylinder pipe that, as we research, we start to see that there are issues with it in different areas, and it's a totally different material. We're using a PVC and ductile iron combination, which are tried and true materials.
Altogether, the project took around 2 years. A school day for most students involves sitting in a classroom and having face-to-face interaction with teachers and friends.
But a growing number of students are opting to go a less traditional route. Delane Cleveland takes a look at Minnesota Virtual High School.
Online education is a growing trend in Minnesota, and behind these glass doors in downtown St. Paul is a school that has more than 400 students enrolled.
This is the English department. This is where all of our English staff is, as well as some elective teachers.
But if you walk through the halls of Minnesota Virtual High School,
this is our special ed department.
You'll see that it has many of the things a normal school would have.
We provide chemistry, biology, and physical science.
Minus the actual students.
So usually what I'll do is I'll click on the actual lesson plan, and I actually take physical notes.
The lone exception on this day was 14-year-old Daylana Bean.
I like being here, so I usually come in here around every Wednesday.
In August, she made the shift to Minnesota Virtual High School, where she takes 100% of her classes online because of anxiety issues she had in a traditional school setting.
It was social anxiety, and then I suffer from perfectionism, so a lot of anxiety around like tests and essays and papers.
It's a concept that's caught on. This free public charter school has students from all across Minnesota, including 32 from the northwest suburbs.
So we have 400 students, and there's 400 reasons for coming, but usually it's because something in the seat-based programs or the brick-and-mortar programs isn't working for them.
So instead of brick-and-mortar programs, the students go the online route, where they work at their own pace and their own schedule. Although it's recommended they spend 4 to 6 hours a day on schoolwork.
We definitely provide as high of a curriculum and quality of education as Minnesota State requires. So they can go to any college, they can get to any military career.
It's an option that certainly didn't exist a generation ago, and it provides new opportunities for students who need something different.
I would recommend it because the traditional way isn't everyone's way.
In St. Paul, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Attendance at Minnesota Virtual High School is based on progress in classes. In the last 5 years, 64 graduates have come from the northwest suburbs. Coming up, holiday budgeting now, so Mr. Scrooge doesn't collect so much interest a little later.
And then in sports, after ending Eden Prairie's reign, the Totino Grace football team is ready to tackle the next challenge against Osseo.
But first, turning cooler on Thursday, there's also a chance for rain. We'll be right back.
Local police will be out looking for kids, not because they're in trouble, but to make sure they have a warm winter coat. The Knights of Columbus donated coats to police departments from Osseo, Maple Grove, Brooklyn Park, and Brooklyn Center. And police out on patrols and in schools will then distribute the coats to kids. The Osseo police chief is excited for the partnership because he knows it will fill a need.
We'll probably give out most of the coats that they give us. I think that there's a need out there that's probably not being met. I think sometimes people feel that it's hard to ask for help.
We wanted to work with someone who would have the ability to discern needy children, find ways, because obviously they see people in their daily work that we don't.
This is the first time the Knights of Columbus has partnered with a public safety agency to distribute coats in Minnesota. And now that Halloween is over, retail's biggest season is underway.
Shoppers are expected to spend slightly more this year than they did last holiday season. Reporter Shannon Slatton has more on saving money during the holidays in today's Money Savers.
From decking the halls to decking out your kitchen, all that glitters in holiday decor is on store shelves at Good Things in Maple Grove. The biggest retail season of the year is underway, with promotions and specials already in the works. But with such a prolonged shopping season, how do you keep yourself from overspending?
The biggest thing is really set a budget and live within that budget, because what you don't want to do is just use your credit cards and charge all of this money, and then all of a sudden it takes you until May of next year to pay it off.
Bindorf says make a shopping list and stick to it. The earlier you do that, the better.
Buy items throughout the year. Groupon has great discounts. Buy things at a low price and then use them when you need them.
Then look for ways to spend less. At Arks Value Village's Mary Thriftmas shop, which opened this week,
the first pick is always the best pick.
Shoppers like Kelly Iaquinto drove here from Andover
because they're having their big Christmas sale
to jumpstart her holiday decorating.
I love having different glasses.
We have Fitz and Floyd dishes, all of those things that you'd normally get at the big box retailers that you can get for really affordable prices here at Arks Value Village.
And then know when it comes to spending money on the holidays, sometimes the best gifts don't have a price tag attached.
It's not about the gifts. It's not about spending lots of money. It's really about having your family together and having great experiences, and it doesn't have to be about the money.
In New Hope, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
If you need some help making that list, we have a holiday budget calculator linked to our website, which helps you create a budget for everything from gifts to travel to holiday baking. Coming up, a Plymouth woman who lives and breathes history.
But first in sports, the Osseo football team gets ready for a rematch with Totino Grace, this time in the state semifinals. Jay Wilcox with a preview when we come back. Well, it seems kind of early, but we're already getting well into the football playoffs. And the good news about that this year is you guys still have plenty of work to do in the sports department.
We haven't turned the page to winter sports yet because there's a lot of football still to go here. It has been a great football season for teams we cover on Channel 12, and 3 of the final 4 left standing in Class 6A are local squads. While their semifinal opponent, Totino Grace, is a regular visitor to state championship games, Osseo is in the semifinals for the first time since 1993. The Orioles are ready to take advantage of their opportunity. When it's November and you're still playing, it's a good thing. The Osseo guys are thrilled to be in the semifinals.
It's an honor just to still be out here, one of the final 4 teams to make it this far.
Our kids are just giddy out there right now. We're jumping around, flying around, having a lot of fun and enjoying it. And Mother Nature's helped us out too. This is awesome.
Osseo advanced with a solid 24-21 win over Lakeville North in the quarterfinals. While the offense has been dynamic in recent weeks, the Orioles' defense took a turn to shine in that win.
I loved it. I loved everything the defense did. They stopped them every time, and they gave us the ball back when we needed it.
It was a good step for the defense. Coming out from the week before, didn't have a really good defense performance, and doing that last game, just we're hungry and eager to get out there again.
The Osseo guys were honest. They're a little surprised to be getting Totino Grace instead of Eden Prairie in the semis.
Definitely surprised because they're a 4-year consecutive state champion, so I'm very surprised about that.
Grace handed Osseo a 35-14 defeat in September that started a 3-game losing streak for the Orioles, so they're glad to get another shot at the Eagles.
We were hoping that was Totino, but I didn't think it was going to really happen, but I'm happy that it did so we can get our rematch.
We know we can play with Totino. We've seen it before. We played with them this year and years past, so we're excited to play these guys. Now, they're a top-notch program. They are Eden Prairie of this area, so hopefully we can battle.
Right there. That second chance comes Thursday night for Osseo. Meanwhile, Totino Grace head coach Jeff Ferguson called the Eagles' victory over Eden Prairie historic. But that game is done, and all Grace is thinking about now is beating Osseo. Here's Jason Malolo with more.
Totino Grace further solidified itself as one of the best programs in the state by ending Eden Prairie's 40-game win streak and marching on to the 6A semifinals.
I do think we're unique in that every school's got their own uniqueness. What our little world is I don't think there's ever been another school that has opted up 2 classes. And we love that. We love that challenge. It's been really fun.
But TG is done talking about Eden Prairie. Although winning that game was an incredible achievement, the Eagles know all that matters now is what's next.
First meeting right after that game, Coach Ferguson came in and told us we got to move on and focus on Osseo. The coaches basically said, hey, be happy for 24 hours, celebrate, be glad. But after 24 hours, come back Monday ready to work because it's not over yet. We haven't we beat Eden Prairie, but if we don't continue on, it doesn't really mean anything.
We talked about Herb Brooks's message to the Miracle on Ice team. A lot of people forget that the Russian game, when they beat the Russians, that wasn't the gold medal game. They had to go back and beat Finland. And I think Herbie's comment was, if you lose to Finland, they'll remember that you beat Russia.
Totino Grace is a focused team nearly every time they step on the field, but Osseo will be too. With a trip to the state final on the line, how could you not be? Jason Malillo, 12 Sports.
Kickoff is at 7 o'clock Thursday night at Minnetonka High School. You can watch the replays here on Channel 12 and also at 12.tv Friday or Saturday night at 7. We'll also have the other semifinal in 6A as Maple Grove takes on Eastridge Friday night at Eden Prairie. Watch that game Saturday at 1 p.m. and 10 p.m. on Channel 12 and 12.tv. And we'll have more on Maple Grove later this week here on 12 News. One area Class A soccer team is in the state championship game. The Benilde St. Margaret's girls shut out Princeton 3-0 Wednesday morning in St. Cloud, outshooting the Tigers 14-3. The top-seeded Red Knights face Orono for the Class A title Thursday morning at 9:30 at Husky Stadium. The Breck boys are playing in the Class A semifinals at this taping of 12 News. So a lot of good progress in all sports, it looks like.
All right, thanks a lot, Jay. Still ahead, a job that puts history in the palm of your hand.
Meet the Plymouth woman who helps us learn a bit more about history, coming up next.
And finally, a Plymouth woman with history in her DNA.
These are the portraits here of the Christian family, and they were the original builders. In the basement.
Elise Shebler-Roberts is the Hennepin History Museum's first education director, and the job seems like a natural fit. Elise's father was a history teacher, and her mother was a librarian. Last year, attendance nearly doubled at the museum in Minneapolis, and she hopes to keep the trend going by improving outreach to area suburbs.
Because I live in the suburbs and have live in Plymouth right now, I'm very interested in outreach and relationships that can be developed in 44 different cities, municipalities, and townships that Hennepin County encompasses.
The museum is 77 years old, but with Elisa's help, they're planning an ultra-modern way to dig into history. Over Thanksgiving weekend, the museum will help you find the right apps for electronic devices to help understand history a little better. An interesting idea. They'll do that Friday and Saturday after Thanksgiving. Just bring your app down.
And I was just going to say, if you haven't been there, you should visit. That is a very interesting place.
Even if you have been there, because they're always
Go
changing.
Again. That's right.
You're right. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here tomorrow. Community Corner is coming up next.